And the winner is... well, yes, that's yet to be announced. One thing we can most definitely state, however, is that those of us who are normal have just lost. Take a step back. You've all seen the news, you've all heard about the nominations. No, not the Oscars. No, this is far more important than acting. This is a case of acting the goat. The Black Lives Matter movement, now almost exclusively referred to by its initials, has been nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize by a white socialist Norwegian MP, Eide. So why does Mr. Eide believe the Black Lives Matter movement is deserving of the award that he's nominated for? Well, let's have a bit of a butcher's at the relevant bit of Fred Nobel's will. The person who shall have done the most or the best work for fraternity between nations, the abolition or reduction of standing armies, and for the holding and promotion of peace congresses. Okay, so those are the criteria to be considered. Fraternity between nations, abolition of armies, the reduction of armed forces, and the organisation of conferences to talk about peace. Personally, I think they've strayed a little from Fred Nobel's original intentions. The Peace Prize has been lost in the wilderness for decades. Did twice-nominated Joseph Stalin ever really do anything to encourage fraternity between nations? All right, he certainly reduced the sizes of various armies, including the Soviet Union's own, but that was by slaughtering people. That should be a disqualifying circumstance, shouldn't it? In 1939, a member of the Swedish parliament nominated Hitler in a stunning example of political satire shown through the form of interpretive dance. No doubt after Strindberg, this registers as slapstick comedy for the Swedes. The nomination was withdrawn, but the prize has been tainted. Just like the very first time that someone piddled in the swimming pool, now and forever it shall be regarded with suspicion. That suspicion has been reinforced over the years by profoundly moronic nominations. It's one thing to nominate the EU, the graveyard for retired Western politicians, as demonstrated by the incredibly vapid von der Leyen. But to actually award the prize to the EU really takes the biscuit. And that's just what happened in 2012. The nomination and the subsequent awarding of the prize to the EU is just another stain on the moral fabric of our continent. In his acceptance speech, European Commission President José Manuel Barroso famously said, blah blah blah, diddly diddly do, rhubarb rhubarb, or words to that effect. Let's also not forget that everyone's favourite waste of space, a man who seems to have achieved fame for achieving nothing during his time as president, Barack Obama, was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2009, after he'd been in power for less than 8 months. The Nobel Peace Prize, with its 728.5-degree worldview, is a bad joke. The Swedes might applaud the biting irony of nominating Hitler. We might wonder, mouthed agape, at the nomination of a genocidal thug like Stalin. But the tradition of stupidity that runs through the organisation runs deep. In 2019, the prize went to Abiy Ahmed, Prime Minister of Ethiopia, for his efforts to achieve peace and international cooperation. Mr. Ahmed has since started a campaign of crimes against humanity. Whoops. At least the Black Lives Matter folk have been violent from the word go, so at least the Nobel Committee aren't buying a pig in a poke. Expect the BLM people to win. It's practically a shoo-in. People will ignore the fact that a convicted American domestic communist terrorist is the vice chair of the organisation that raises the funds that the Black Lives Matter movement receives. Compared to an Ethiopian instigator of ethnic cleansing, an organisation that receives funding arranged by a convicted domestic communist terrorist pardoned by the wife of Hillary Clinton is almost without sin. BLM is, after all, an organisation that merely managed to achieve riots in 140 cities in the US, leading to record insurance claims totaling $2 billion, resulting in the deaths of 30 and the arrests of 14,000. Peace and love, man. Of course, feel the love or I'll kick your fucking teeth in and burn your house to the ground. Like I said, a shoo-in.